Hello, I'm John Proxy on Channel John West. I'm having an Outer Worlds adventure. And there we go, my CPU's at the correct level. I've done this first 5 minutes already, but I'm going to do them again, because I have reasons. Let's level up my Persuade. Let's level up my Science. Put handguns to 20. Do I really want handguns on 28? Actually, no, I think about it. I think I do. Let's... Fine, let's put medical to 60 as well. Well, it's on 59. Do we not get perks? No, but they get perks. Right, and I'm just going to do the obvious ones. CPR. Any damage that would kill you instead heals a small amount of health. Lovely. Yes, and 20% max, 20% science damage. Lovely. How cool these two look now. Go.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
Zero G
You
brew.
plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories. You might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
How well do you know Nyoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. On account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
You said you're not used to seeing new faces around here.
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such.
What happened to Amber Heights?
Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though.
Okay, why is this place called the Yacht Club?
Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay?
Nope. But a man can dream.
See what you have. Nothing I'm interested in. Okay. So, I've done the first 5 minutes of this already. I'm re-recording it. I mention this because I'm about to steal this model spaceship. Ah.
Hope you know what you're doing.
Huh, different person saw me. Oh, I wasn't doing anything, honest. Just stealing your stuff? It's a Nyoka Bar Talk bingo sheet. Right between the eyes. There we go. I'll buy this. And this. I'll tell you when we've caught up with ourselves. It'll be pretty soon. Look at this view. Yeah, let's have a look at the map. Okay, but that's just Stellar Bay. Huh. Caleb Harrick. Sounds like you're doing an impression of Christian Slater. Or at least will do when I start talking to him.
New face, huh? You from Off-World?
Yes. Captain Van Severick of the Unreliable.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us?
What are you celebrating?
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits.
It's the way he says
But
untethered.
until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking.
What could be so bad that it made you walk off your job? Well, yeah, whatever.
It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor Velma goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay.
I happen to be pretty good with negotiations.
I wouldn't doubt it. You look like the type who tends to come out on top. Not like us cogs, trying to be the squeaky wheel but just getting deadlocked. It's been days, but Velma won't even hear us out. Maybe you could just make her listen to our demands.
I'll mediate on your behalf.
You would do that? We sure are lucky you decided to come up to the patio today. I knew drinking up here would be good for more than the view.
This is the point I turned around and went, oh, my recording software is struggling. And I had to start again. But it's doing fine now. I think it was my Logitech drivers being weird. Either that or just needed to restart the PC, which I occasionally do really need to do. I'll talk to you later. We need to talk about Velma.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
So, who the hell's Sanjar? I don't know who Sanjar is, and you shouldn't give me the option to do that. How can you afford to miss work?
Not forever, but we've each saved up our bits, and I stashed them safe in my home by the diner. I reckon we could last a week or two at least.
Any suggestions for how to put pressure on Velma to negotiate?
If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true.
What's this about blackmail now?
I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon.
Talk to you later. Sounds like a noble... I want this.
What do you think you're doing?
Nothing at all.
Do what you want, I guess.
Nothing at all. Oh no, I'm afraid of heights, aren't I? May as well. Still not entirely sure how it affects me, but...
I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same tossball games?
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to a word, are you?
Look, my back aches and everything smells like fish. I just want to enjoy my beer.
Aww. There's the Monarch sign. We came from that direction, right? I'm pretty sure I want this.
Nuts. What do you think you're doing?
Nothing at all.
I don't have time for this. Move along.
Okay. Just wanted to, oh, my reputation went down by like 1. Let's save. I don't need 100, so let's start saving over the old ones. So I'm a bit low energy at the moment. First recording of the day. It's like 1 o'clock as well. Come on, me. We'll go this way. Oh, that looks fancy. We'll do that later.
Well, well. The only new folk I ever see in town are sublight runners from Fallbrook. But you don't look like one of Catherine's. What can I get you?
Let's trade.
If you don't see it, I don't got it. Don't go asking for the special reserve.
Oh, don't like me here, Monarch. Stella. Stella! Not a baseball cap. Sorry, not baseball. What am I talking about? It's build cap. Which I guess is technically probably the correct name for that. Ah. The prices of the sold tuna in Brighton. I could afford to become some sort of serial arsonist.
Wrapped musk and canid eyes, right here.
Yo.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails?
Oh, I'm good.
You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Do I? Why would I want any of that?
I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
Interesting. Who's Celia?
She works for Sanjar at MSI. She's also Stellar Bay's biggest collector of canid incisors. And I should know, because she buys them from me.
About Mr. Pickett.
He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Mantiqueens, especially.
Have you seen a Mantiqueen?
Sure, they're real big. Hard to miss them.
Why was he interested in Mantiqueens?
Who wouldn't be?
People who value self-preservation, Sebastian.
Now that just sounds like a fancy way to say boring people.
Oh, it's fine being a boring person. Where have you seen a Mantiqueen?
Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks. To tell true, I'm starting to get a bit worried about him. Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in trouble. Fair deal?
Sure, I can keep an eye out for him.
All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last Mantiqueen I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there too.
I'll see what you have.
Oh, good. Celia hasn't come by in a few days, so I haven't sold much.
No, I think I'm good. Plasma launcher, eh? Best not, there's a lot of people.
Sir, please, I need your help. I can pay. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
Well, in that's case, it's too late.
More dissolving than melting.
That is not helpful.
Calm down, take a deep breath, and then tell me what happened.
Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always. But how can I keep him safe if he's run away? He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the raptidons, mantisaurs, and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy?
Why would Tucker run away?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me.
Where would he have gone?
He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boy's run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already.
What was you saying about the iconoclasts?
Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who'll listen. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head.
Where is Amber Heights?
That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with the nutty iconoclasts, or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak.
That one's worse.
Or maybe marauders got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could happen to my sweet baby.
Okay, him not being dead is the best option, lady. Did you say there's some sort of a reward?
Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town walls for free. It is deathly dangerous out there. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one if you just bring my Tucker back to me. I won't even be mad at him running off. You tell him I won't be mad.
I'll help you find your son.
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Okay then. Well, I'm not going to leave just yet, obviously. I want to investigate the entire town first. Well, that was neat. What am I missing?
Help! Someone's been killed!
Okay, I didn't think this place was as big as it is. Yeah, okay. No, I must have come from this way. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go in there now.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Oh, what's that exchange about? You having money trouble?
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
That's pretty good acid. Do you normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or a mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Why are you buying so much from Sebastian?
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
Ah.
Sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Maybe I can just ask him on a date.
I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you ask.
No, that's no way to ask someone out on a date.
Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Wait, I'm curious. What do you see in Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
Good to have standards, I guess.
I know what I'm looking for.
You really want to be with someone you can't talk to?
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
There are other fish in the sea, Celia. That's...
Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up.
Enough. That's all I need to know.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
No, that's good. Talk to you later.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
That's very generous of you.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
I'm just looking for the information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for salt tuna.
That's quite funny. Afraid not.
Oh, a shame. I'd been saving a bottle of iceberg-aged whiskey for an occasion like this. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Sounds like a personal problem. Yeah, let's just be a piece of shit. What exactly are you hoping to accomplish?
thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Sounds like you're freer than anyone else in Halcyon. Why not embrace it?
Exactly what I would have said, if I'd been paying attention.
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
What?
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
What do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Ingenious plan? Don't get me wrong, I'm starting to admire your sand, but I bet you could overcomplicate a sisty sandwich.
What a charmingly roguish turn of phrase. Allow me to express my thanks at your confidence and assure you that my plan is indeed sufficiently complicated.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but what do you mean by that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
That's a good idea. Sorry, I knocked the table with my niece. The Bolt 52 sounds useful. What is it?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush.
Ordnance? Or ordnance? Hang on, no. Ordnance or ordnance?
An ordinance, of course. We do things in a civilized fashion here. Not like Graham's iconoclasts.
Of course he wants to fight bureaucracy with paperwork. I should have known.
Can a legal document... oh, I see. I was a bit behind there. Can a legal document really be that important?
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you just crawled out from under a rock.
I did, yes.
Forms and procedures are everything in Halcyon. And this one is located in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Then I guess I'll go get your Bolt 52.
Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Before I go, I need to ask you about something.
What can I do for you?
I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I have questions about MSI in the good old days.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But Back then, it was known as Terra 1.
Ah. Terra 1 and Terra 2. I see the board put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward-thinking of you.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
Alright, so it's...
Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Okay, so this is exactly the sort of person we actually want on the board, because the likelihood of us defeating the board is very, very low. I take it your leadership... Using the board's own tools against them, then. Clever.
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
Yet here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
That's low, even for them.
I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws.
It's you are
I do think
reforming.
there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Yeah. You don't seem to think much of Graham.
He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board's pinned on us, it's them.
I will admit, I am keen to meet their leader.
Well, be careful what you wish for. Graham has a habit of ruining everything, and everyone around him.
You have strong feelings on this matter.
I'm trying to build something here. They only want to destroy things, and they risk ruining Monarch for all of us. It isn't just that they drain our people and resources. Every radical act they commit cements Halcyon's image of us all as destructive rebels, and pushes us further from the rest of the colony. He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
What's the hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
A necessary evil for the greater good of society.
That's exactly how the board describes it.
You sound skeptical.
Monarch may be dangerous, but it's hardly the wasteland the board describes it to be. Whatever the board's goals, the greater good has little part in them.
Why exactly do you want back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
No, it's not.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
Yeah, alright. I'm going to push this guy. It's very noble to fight against the board, but... And I did in the first zone, obviously. But, like, that guy wasn't offering any better solution other than just working. This guy's offering a thing. Can't fault you for your practicality.
Indeed. We've got to consider realities, not ideals. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Leverage?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes. It'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
Would be nice.
What can I do for you?
Okay, hang on. Weren't these the guys that... It's going to be my logs, isn't it? Whatever. Faction quest? What the hell's a faction quest? Okay, it's the gas. Okay, that's not... Why are these in different categories? Grimm's poster. Okay, Celia. Velma. Cecilia.
Sebastian yet? What did he say?
Grimm asked me to check with you about his Tospel poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask.
Velma.
She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grimm wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Okay. Sebastian's just outside, but there is a door here. It's just the alternate. Right, Seb, where are you?
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in.
You know, you really are too persistent about this.
Sorry, I just get so excited, and I always feel like I miss everything that happens in town while I'm up here.
Okay. You're not Seb.
Who wants to play an impromptu tossball match? No one? Really?
You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Let's talk about Celia.
Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon acid is working out. I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested in this stuff.
Would you consider going on a date with her? No, she likes you.
Nice of you to say. I like her too.
She's interested in you. No, I mean, she really likes you.
And I gotta admire anyone with her passion for canid hides. But you don't have to butter me up.
Now I see what Celia was talking about. This guy almost reminds me of Irion.
Who's Irion?
Who?
An old acquaintance from the Groundbreaker. Real piece of work.
That's mighty kind of you to say.
But we were talking about what a lucky gal Celia is.
Anyone who can afford such a fine collection of Mantisaur claws has it pretty good.
Since you've got so much in common, maybe you should let her take you out.
Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm? Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for raptidon tongues.
Persuade 45. Don't take my word for it. Spend some time with her. I promise you she won't ask for a discount.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice. Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say?
He said he'll go on a date with you.
Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing to it? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia. I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more, sure, I don't have anything else going on.
He likes you, Celia. Just don't ask him for any discounts.
Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll be too soon. Ah, look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back-to-work look. Anyhow, thank you.
Cool. Starlight Bay. Want me some of this? We spoke to you already. What's this? I still don't know what this is. Hang on, how are they updating their machines?
Not much I can do for this guy.
We can take all their stuff. This betting slip lists some increasingly bold wagers made for a team called the Mostly Colonists. It's from a left field toss ball beat betting. You know what? There's clearly a murder mystery going on. Let's... Well, there might be, but I don't know where it is. To Nandi. Sorry to bother you about this, but something foul is leaking from the apartment upstairs. I don't know what Celia is keeping up there, but she works for you, right? Do you think you could talk to her about it? Rose, can you please keep your windows shut? I've tried to explain leaving them open, especially when you've got food out. Invites mantis swarms and mantis swarms infestations are everyone's problem. Hecht. Bracton, I know you keep odd hours. I know because I heard you coming and going at all times of the day and night. Haha. But maybe you could try to close your door a little more quietly. I have rather sensitive nerves, and every time I hear your door, I think we're in the middle of another Amber Heights. Okay. I wanted that carbine.
Whatever you do, don't mention tossball to Isaac. You'll never hear the end of it.
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh?
Oh, I didn't mean to scare you.
You again! You've really got to stop doing that.
Right. Out for delivery. He's dropping off a care package with the Mathers in the old ruins south of Stellar Bay. Be back soon. Laura, I know you're reading this. Stay out of my things. Alright, you were told to stay away from their things. Alright, I'm going to let you go. Well, we may as well check this one last room. This will be... Hang on. Is that just a scythe? The Inferno Scythe. I'm having this Inferno Scythe. Okay, now I'm going to let you go. I've been John Proxy on channel John on the West. That's just... No, I'm not sure what that is. I guess that's the way I was going. I think I missed out on something there. Yeah, it is. Okay. We'll park ourselves next to this door. I've been John Proxy on channel John on the West. Still, I've been having an Outer Worlds adventure. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.